Good morning once again, dear students. So we continue with The Tempest. We were doing Act 4, Scene 1, and today we will be finishing off the last two pages of this particular scene. That is, we had done up to page 102. So today we are going to finish page 103 and 104. So the pages will be on your screen right now, but before we begin, I expect all of you to take out your textbooks and get ready with the textbooks. Open on the pages that we are going to do right now and be ready, and then listen to my explanation of the lines. So we begin with page 103, and here on your screen you can see the page taken from your textbook, and this is the speech of Caliban, which continues from the previous page. In the previous page, Caliban had started saying, "What do you mean?" And that's where we had stopped. So I'll continue with that sentence. What do you mean to dote thus on such luggage? Let's along and do the murder first. Here, Caliban means to say that what do you mean by clinging so fondly? Why are you showing so much of fondness towards such trash? Luggage here means needless weight. So the meanings are explained alongside. I'm sure you are observing. So there is no use of being so fond of such needless weight. Rather, we must proceed to finish off the job for which we have come here, that is, commit the murder of Prospero. If he awake from toe to crown, he'll fill our skins with pinches. So what he means to say is that if Prospero wakes up, if you waste your time like this, picking the clothes from the clothesline and thinking about the clothes instead of doing the main task for which we have come here, then there is a possibility that Prospero could wake up, and if he wakes up, then he will punish us. And who knows it better than Caliban, of course, because Caliban has been punished several times before for not listening to Prospero, and so he is trying to warn Stephano and Trinculo that if Prospero wakes up, he will fill our skins. Our entire bodies will be filled with pinches. We won't be able to see who is pinching us, but we will be filled with pinches from head to foot. Make us strange stuff, and thus he will make us do something queer, or rather he will turn us into a strange object. So that is what is going to happen. If Prospero wakes up, he will immediately punish us, and our entire bodies, right from our head to foot, will be pinched, will be bitten, not beaten but bitten, and we will be completely transformed into something very strange. So don't waste your time with these clothes. Rather, let's go inside the cell and let's finish off with the murder of Prospero. So this is Caliban insisting Stephano and Trinculo. Who is Stephano? The drunken butler, and Trinculo, the jester. These two are dead drunk. So is Caliban to some extent, and the three of them have conspired to kill Prospero, particularly because Caliban wants them to help him kill Prospero. Now Stephano in response says, "Be you quiet, monster. You be quiet, you monster, don't talk so much." And then again he turns towards the clothesline, and he is addressing the clothesline. Here Shakespeare is personifying the clothesline. "Mistress Line, is not this my jerkin? Madam Line, Madam Clothesline, isn't this my jacket?" As he tries to pull a jacket off the clothesline, he is addressing the clothesline. Now remember, these guys are drunk, and so in a drunken state they can even speak to a clothesline. So don't be surprised. And he's referring to the clothesline as Madam Line. So Mistress Line, is not this my jacket or jerkin? Now is the jerkin under the line. Now, jerkin, you are like to lose your hair and prove a bald jerkin. So what he means to say here is that now I hold the jacket in my hands and it must be under the line, or rather the line as it is called, and then you are likely to lose your hair. Likely to lose your hair and become a threadbare jacket, as people lose their hair in fever, contracted in crossing the line. So you will also lose your hair, meaning to say that this jacket, he has already pulled down the jacket from the clothes line. Don't get confused, I am explaining, listen very carefully. He has pulled the jacket down from the clothes line, and this jacket is a fur jacket, and he says that Mr. Jacket, you are likely to lose all your hair and you are likely to become totally bald, that is hairless, just as sometimes human beings become hairless, they lose all their hair. So the same way is going to happen with you as well, if you are worn and if you are used on a regular basis, and then you will become a bald jacket. So all this is utter nonsense. Don't get confused and don't start thinking, why is he saying this? A totally drunk man can possibly say anything under the sun, and this guy is no exception, so he's saying this. So it's just to induce humor. The audience, Shakespeare's audience, will laugh, will roar in laughter when they will see these characters speaking to the clothesline, speaking to the jacket, and talking utter nonsense which does not make any sense. So this is meaningless or nonsensical dialogue here given by this man Stephano. And Stephano and Trinculo, Stephano is always drunk. He is the source of this liquor, and he has given it to Trinculo, he has given it to Caliban. So you can imagine that Stephano, among the three of them, Stephano is the one who is the most intoxicated with the liquor. So now Trinculo, in tune with what Stephano has said, says, do, we steal by line and level. So, yes, do it that way. We are stealing the clothes in a very systematic manner. We are stealing by line and level, meaning to say, in a very systematic manner, we are stealing these garments from the clothes line. And Stephano likes the joke. He is very happy to hear this from Trinculo. So he immediately responds by saying, I thank thee for that jest. I thank you for cracking that joke. Jest means joke. Here's a garment for it. So since you have cracked such a nice joke, here, take this garment, take this piece of cloth as a gift, as a reward for cracking such a nice joke. Which shall not go unrewarded while I am king of this country. So he's behaving like a king already, because Caliban has pumped him to believe that he is eventually going to become the king of this island. He's already behaving like a king. When a person is drunk, a person can imagine things, and this guy is no exception. He says, wit shall always be rewarded in my kingdom. Anyone who is witty, anyone who cracks a joke at the right time, a witty joke, deserves to be rewarded. And so this is a garment for you as a reward for the wit that you have shown just now. And then he repeats the same line which was spoken earlier by Trinculo. He says, steal by line and level is an excellent pass of pate. So you have really said something very witty. Pass of pate means a very witty remark, is indeed a very witty remark. That's what he means. Meanings are explained alongside. Always look at the meanings when you are reading the text, so that there is no confusion and that you are able to understand each and every line. So it's a very comical scene going on, very humorous, very funny. And these characters will soon learn their lesson, because Prospero is watching them and so is Ariel. And soon Prospero is going to punish them. So then he continues. There's another garment for it. So as if one reward was not enough, he says, take one more garment as a reward. So he first gives him one reward, then he gives him another reward. And what are these rewards? These are stolen garments. And these are all Prospero's belongings. So Prospero allows them to steal. They are taking Prospero's property, and thus they are committing further sins. And then after they commit the sin, there should be purgation or punishment for it. So this is going on here. Now Trinculo says, monster, come, put some lime upon your fingers and away with the rest. Come on, Caliban. Come on, monster. Put some lime on your fingers. Now in the olden times, in order to catch small birds, the bird catchers, those who went to catch birds, they would apply a kind of sticky substance made out of lime on the branches of trees, and then when the smaller birds would come and perch on them, their feet would get stuck to those branches, and then these bird catchers would climb up and catch those birds. So it was a very common method of catching birds in the olden times, perhaps in Shakespeare's time, and that's the reason why here bird lime, or that sticky substance which was used for catching birds, is being referred to. So he says to Caliban, why don't you put some bird lime on your fingers so that your fingers also become sticky, and then remove the rest of the garments from the clothes line. Come on, help us. So in a way, Caliban is being instigated to steal by Trinculo. Caliban, of course, is not interested in those clothes. His motive is to get rid of Prospero, and so he is frustrated. Let's see what he says. Caliban says, I will have none on it. I am not going to do what you are saying. I will have none on it. We shall lose our time and all be turned to barnacles or to apes with foreheads villainous low. You people are fools. You are wasting time. If you keep on wasting time like this, very soon Prospero will get us, and then he will turn us into barnacles. What are barnacles? These are kind of parasites which live inside the seawater, and they get accumulated on the bodies of different kinds of creatures that live in the sea. So we'll either be turned into such barnacles, or we'll be turned into apes, monkeys. Our shapes will change. He will cast a spell and we will turn into apes with low foreheads. Have you ever seen an ape? If you have, you must have noticed that the ape's forehead is always much lower or slanting than that of a human being. So a human being's forehead is much broader and much more prominent because the human brain is more developed. So this is what Caliban is trying to say here, that we will be turned into apes with low foreheads. Villainous meaning is explained here. Villainous means something which is out of proportion, disproportionately. And barnacles, a barnacle is a kind of shell fish. So I told you it lives in the seawater. So hurry up, leave all these clothes. It's simply a waste of time. But Stefano, nobody's listening. Neither Stefano nor Trinculo. Though Caliban is insisting, nobody's interested. These two are dead drunk. And always remember that Stefano and Trinculo do not really have a motive to kill Prospero. There is no reason for which they want to kill Prospero, because Prospero is not their enemy. In fact, they have not even met Prospero before. So it's like, you have heard something from someone, and that someone is insisting that you should go and kill someone. Well, it's not that important. These two are drunk and they are enjoying every sight that they are seeing. So Stefano says, monster, lay to your fingers, help to bear this away where my hogshead of wine is. Monster, come here. Help us out with your hands. Use your fingers to pick these remaining clothes from the clothesline and carry them to the place where my barrel of wine has been kept. Remember, Stefano had an entire barrel of wine in stock, from which he had poured out some in a bottle, and then he had gone wandering through the island till he met Caliban and Trinculo. But during that time, when they met each other, you remember that we had done this in class 11. He had said that he has an entire barrel of wine kept secured among the rocks somewhere near the coast of the sea. So that is what he is referring to. Hogshead here refers to the barrel. He says, pick up the remaining clothes. Come here, monster. Use your fingers. Pick up the remaining clothes and carry the entire load of these clothes to the place where I have kept my barrel of wine, because that is my place. I want these clothes to be carried there, or I'll turn you out of my kingdom. He even threatens. If you don't listen to me, if you don't follow my instruction, then I will turn you out of my kingdom. I'll throw you out of my kingdom. Go to, carry this. Come on now. Go to is just a word of impatience, or a phrase of impatience. He says, come on, now carry this. Saying this, Stefano tries to give some clothes to Caliban, and following Stefano, Trinculo also does the same. And this, he gives some more clothes to Caliban. So the two of them are trying to give the stolen clothes to to Caliban to carry, because Caliban is supposed to be their slave, their servant. Now we come to the next page. This is page 104. This is the last page, after which this scene will come to an end. Stefano says, and this, some more clothes are being given by Stefano. So you see, first Stefano gives some clothes, then Trinculo gives some clothes, and again Stefano gives some more clothes. When suddenly a noise of hunters are heard. Now see, this noise of hunters. When hunters go hunting, they shout and they shoo their dogs. They carry with them their weapons. In modern times, of course, they carry guns, but in those times maybe they carried spears and swords and all sorts of other kinds of weapons like bows and arrows and things like that. And they also had with them some hounds or some dogs. These were specially trained to hunt down animals of prey. So a noise of hunters is heard. Where did these hunters come from? You must be wondering. Actually, these are not real hunters. Just as we have seen in case of the Mask of Juno, the spirits can take any shape. When Prospero orders Ariel, Ariel in turn brings in other spirits, and these spirits take different shapes at different times to serve the purpose. Now, some of the spirits have taken the shape of human beings, the shape of hunters. And then there are some other spirits which have taken the shape of hounds or dogs. Now together, this group of hunters with their hounds are suddenly heard coming towards the direction of the cell where Stefano, Trinculo and Caliban are at the moment. A noise of hunters heard. All this is being done by Prospero. Now the punishment begins. Mainly for Caliban, and then of course for Stefano and Trinculo. Enter diverse spirits. Diverse or different types of spirits in shape of dogs and hounds, and hunt them about. They start chasing Stefano, Trinculo and Caliban. And these three are running for dear life because the hounds are chasing after them. Imagine suddenly if you see ferocious, huge ferocious dogs with lolling tongues and, baring their canines, barking and chasing after you, what will happen to you? You will be so scared that you will start running in the opposite direction, and that's exactly what happens. All these are spirits of Prospero. So Prospero and Ariel in the meantime are setting them on, meaning to say setting them after these three characters. See what Prospero says. Hey mountain, hey mountain, silver, fury and tyrant. 4 names are mentioned by Prospero. These are the names of 4 hounds or 4 dogs, ferocious dogs. Actually these are spirits, but these have now taken the shape of 4 ferocious dogs, and they have names. One is called Mountain, another dog is called Silver, yet another is Fury, and the 4th one is Tyrant. And Prospero is insisting that these dogs, he's calling them by the names and is insisting them to chase after Stefano, Trinculo and Caliban. Hey mountain, hey! And Ariel, just like Prospero, Silver, there it goes, Silver, yes Silver, there they are, catch them, shoo. So they are shooing the dogs after these 3 characters. So it's a very humorous scene, it's a very funny scene, and the audience will roar in laughter to see these 3 characters run and the dogs chasing after them. And then Prospero continues shooing, Fury, Fury, there, Tyrant, there, hark, hark. Hark, hark, listen, listen, listen to me, listen to my command and do accordingly. He is asking the dogs to chase Stefano, Trinculo and Caliban. And what are they doing? Caliban, Stefano and Trinculo are driven out. They are driven out of the stage. Go, charge my goblins, that they grind their joints with dry convulsions, shorten up their sinews with aged cramps. Now Prospero is telling Ariel, okay, he is telling Ariel, go and ask my spirits, goblins are spirits, to afflict them, to afflict these 3, or to affect them with stiffness and pain in the joints. Pain in the joints that will dry up their system, their internal system will dry up. Contract their muscles with cramp, such as aged people suffer from. Just as old people, they sometimes suffer from cramps. Let this happen to these 3 characters. Tell the spirits to do it. And then he continues, he says, and more pinch spotted make them than pard or cat o' the mountain, and cover their skins with marks of pinches, so that they appear more spotted than a leopard or a mountain cat. Mountain cat is also kind of leopard. So let them be pinched so hard by the spirits, by the goblins, that they suffer both internally as well as externally. Let their muscles, their nerves, their inner organs dry up. Let them develop cramps, and let them be pinched more and more in such a way that their entire bodies become spotted like that of a leopard or a mountain cat. I hope I have been able to make you understand. Meanings are also explained here. Please go through. So then, pard or cat of the mountain. Pard means leopard. Leopard has spots, and mountain cat also has a spotted skin. Ariel says, hark, they roar. Listen, they are crying out in pain. They are yelling, screaming in pain. Who are screaming in pain? Caliban, Stefano and Trinculo. Now you cannot see them. They are off stage. They are off stage, but their voices can be heard. They are screaming in the background. So Ariel is saying, hark, listen. Can you hear them crying out in pain? And Prospero says, let them be hunted soundly. Let them be hunted in a very proper way. In a very proper way. Let them be hunted up and down thoroughly. At this hour lie at my mercy all mine enemies. At this point of time, all my enemies are lying at my mercy. Now they are all in my grasp, and they are all lying at my mercy. If I show mercy, only then they will be relieved. Otherwise, this punishment will go on. All my enemies are now in my grasp. This was the moment Prospero was waiting for. This was the moment. Now don't be mistaken, Stefano and Trinculo are not great enemies of Prospero. But because they belong to Alonso, they belong to Alonso's kingdom. And Alonso was Prospero's enemy, who had helped Prospero's younger brother, Antonio, to exile Prospero. That's the reason why he says, those men also belong to my enemy, and so all my enemies are now in my grasp. And then he says, shortly shall all my labors end, and thou shalt have the heir at freedom. Very soon all my hard work will come to an end, and then Ariel, very soon all my task will be over, and then I will set you free. For a little follow and do me service. Just for a little while more, please follow my orders and do me the service I require. To whom is Prospero saying this? To Ariel, the airy spirit. Prospero has promised to release him. Prospero has said that he will let him go. Remember, when Prospero found Ariel, Ariel was locked up or imprisoned inside a tree, inside the trunk of a tree for 12 long years. So when Prospero came to the island and heard Ariel crying in pain from within the tree, he freed Ariel. And in return, Ariel promised to give service to Prospero for as many number of years as he was imprisoned inside that tree. So that means 12 years. So 12 years of imprisonment followed by 12 years of service to his rescuer Prospero. And the 12th year is almost coming to an end. And Prospero's revenge is also about to be completed. So Prospero is saying this, that bear with me for a little while more, Ariel, and do me service, because very soon my mission will be accomplished, and then I will set you free. So with that, Prospero and Ariel leave the scene. The scene comes to an end. Act 4, Scene 1 gets over. So students, I have finished Act 4 Scene 1 through this online mode, and I am not going to do this scene again when the school reopens. So please, I request you to go through my videos which I have been uploading in YouTube and sharing the links here in the WhatsApp group with you. Make sure that you understand each and every line. I am not going to repeat this once the school reopens, because we may not have the time for any kind of repetition. And in our next literature class, it could be either short stories or poetry, or it could be that I begin with Act 5. And that is the last act of the play. So whatever be the case, it will only be done next week. That is on Monday. Till then, keep watching, keep liking, keep subscribing, and keep giving your positive comments. Thank you very much.